let's be honest, we could all do with a salary increase, and it is something that we are hoping for and looking to achieve each and every single year, particularly as Q4 rolls around. Now, chances are you'll have some end of year performance reviews. Now, these are optimal times to ask for a salary raise. Perhaps you've kind of introduced the potential earlier in the year. Maybe you've kind of floated it out there. Maybe you've even put it into the conscious of your manager. But in this video, I'm going to show you how you can head into that end year review or any conversation with your line manager to hopefully get that salary increase that you deserve. And I'm going to be doing so by introducing you to a new tool in ChatGPT. And it's all possible via this new Explore feature. So if I open that up, here we can see a range of tools under the Made by OpenAI section. Now these tools, some of these are absolutely brilliant, and I'll be exploring some of these in future videos. But the one we're going to focus on today is called the Negotiator. I'll help you advocate for yourself and get better outcomes. Become a great negotiator. So to be honest, this video extends well beyond just a salary increase. You can use this whether you're looking to get a new car from maybe a second-hand dealer, or just anywhere where they kind of accept perhaps a little bit of bartering, or you can negotiate on the price. So this is an absolute fantastic tool. I've been using it quite extensively, and this is the kind of thing you're going to want to do. You're going to want to prepare ahead of any conversation that you have ahead of time. It's not something you just want to drop into that conversation. So I'm going to be showing you this tool now. Now I would suggest you start with something very, very basic, and then we can explore the functionalities of the tool. So I would suggest starting with a prompt like this. I am a project manager. You could put your title in there, maybe you're a project coordinator. But you could put your exact title in there. I would say something like earning, and then you could put your specific amount. So pounds, you could probably tell by my accent I'm British, but you could put obviously dollars in here. Let's just say, for simplicity's sake, I've just picked 100,000 out of the air. It's not related to my current salary, but I'm a project manager earning £100,000 per year. I work in the industry sector. You get the idea. So what I'm trying to do in this particular aspect of the prompt is just give ChatGPT and the AI some, a lot of salaries are kind of industry specific. So I would put that in here. If I don't at this point, I'm sure it's going to come back to me and ask for this kind of thing. But I'm a project manager earning 100 grand per year. I work in the, let's keep this simple, finance industry. I have been in the role for 5 years. I am looking for, let's just say, £125,000 a year. Now that is actually quite a substantial increase. If we look at 100,000, that's it's a quarter of our salary on top of what we're currently getting. So that is a lot to ask for. But there's a lot of negotiating tactics out there. Ask for 125 and then maybe get 110. That's the kind of idea here. But as I say, you may not even have a figure in mind. You might just want to say, I'm a project manager earning 100 grand per year. I want a salary raise, please increase it, So I'm a project manager earning 100 grand per year. I work in finance, I've been in the role phase, I'm looking for £125,000 per year. Thus I don't need to put this in, but I just want to get the word salary raise in the prompt, okay? I'm looking for 100 grand per year, thus a 25 salary raise. Now, if I hit send message, now the negotiator is going to work with us. So great, let's work on how you can approach negotiating a salary raise. So it's understood our request. To begin, it's essential to build a strong case. Here are some steps that you can take. Gather evidence of your value. Now, actually, before I delve into this, I just want to share a little personal anecdote. I've managed to secure a salary raise in my last 4 years of employment. And a lot of this was a lot of prep work, and a lot of it was going into that end of year performance review with demonstrations that I had given value to the business, and that I could also showcase to my manager how I've helped them personally. So if I just look at this top one, gather evidence of your value. Document your achievements, contributions, and any additional responsibilities you've taken on since your last salary review. Now, I, for one, know that this is absolutely fantastic advice, okay? So this is something, and another quick thing, actually, before we kind of, I'm waffling on a little bit, but if you can do this ahead of time, if if you could start this process ahead of next year, then you will do so much better at getting that salary raise. And obviously, there's so many things out there about salary raises. You will get pushback. You'll get those common things like, "Oh, we don't have the budget this year," or "Times are tough. We've let a lot of people go." But you'll be surprised if you're providing enough value to your business and you are increasing their revenue and things like that. Then, or improving some other KPIs, then you deserve a salary raise. Okay. And most companies can do it. Most companies are able to, given the right kind of information provided to them, if you can provide enough evidence of your value. So that's number one. Now, maybe while I've been talking, you've been reading through these, but I'll just quickly delve on some of these and we'll explore this functionality further. Understand your market worth. Research the average salary for someone with your experience and skills in the finance industry. Now, this is an excellent, if you're yet to get a job or even moving to a new project management position, this is crucial because you don't want to go in at the bottom of the ladder. You want to try and get as high up the ladder as possible with your initial salary, because it is a little bit difficult to improve your salary or get a salary raise once you've been given, you've signed your contract and you've been given your salary. So this is really, really good advice. I've personally used both of these. But as this point suggests, if you're undervalued in your current position, you should have a strong point in your negotiation, good case. Prepare your case. Organise your thoughts and evidence into a clear and concise argument. Focus on how your work benefits the company and aligns with its goals. Now, that's really, really important. You need to understand where your company is going, what they're hoping to achieve. You want to dial into any of those quarterly updates or maybe yearly updates that your CEO has. You want to find out exactly what they're looking to achieve, and you want to try and signify how you're contributing to that as well. That will really, really help you. Practice your pitch before the actual meeting. Now, meetings can take place in various different formats. It could be a phone call. It could be a conference. Your manager may be even based in a different country. It could be face-to-face. Now, I've had many face-to-face salary raise negotiation conversations. They are a little bit awkward. I wasn't confident, but ahead of time. But with time, with a bit of practice and getting used to the process, it almost became something that my manager expected of me every year. So it just got easier and easier. And to be honest, by the fourth time I've got my kind of increase each year, they even suggested that, they made a joke at the end of the yearly performance review. She said, I expect you'll be asking for your annual salary raise. Now let's talk about it. So you see, that's where you want to get to. That was ideal. She, obviously a fantastic manager, appreciated my work. But yeah, that's just another little anecdote to explain how this is all about practicing and how preparing really will help you here. Choose the right time. Timing is crucial. It's often best to schedule this discussion after a significant achievement or during a performance review, as I've discussed so far. I haven't read this point up until now, so that's really, really interesting. Be ready to discuss specifics. Be prepared to talk about your desired salary and how you arrived at that figure. Okay, so we've got a figure in mind here, which is good. Remember, you're asking for a 25% increase, which is substantial. See, this is really interesting. A lot of this is what I've actually already said in this video so far. So yeah, it mirrors my experience, put it that way. Now, this is a good one because, maybe you're just thinking of, your actual salary at the moment. But this is a great avenue to explore, particularly if you get a lot of pushback. Maybe you could ask for shares in the company. That's one thing I've done in the past. Vacation time, if you were to, in some companies, you can buy a holiday and that can be really, really expensive. And sometimes you might have a low vacation allocation. So that's a good one to explore as well. We all want more time to do what we enjoy. So that's a good one. Flexible working hours, you might work in a hybrid format at the moment. You may be going in 2-3 times a week. Maybe you could have 4 times a week at home, or maybe maybe you're going in every single day and you want 1 or 2 days at home. These are the kind of things that can really kind of add to our work-life balance. So consider those as well. Maybe it's a project management course as well. This could help you secure a new job. There's a lot of people who have managed to literally move companies. It may or may not be something you want to do. I'm not advocating it, but they've managed to completely scale their salary by moving around the industry and moving into new positions, because it is harder to get a salary increase than it is to literally go and get a new job. So you could get a professional development qualification. You could get your PMP or something like that, and then you could literally move into a more advanced position elsewhere. Or with that qualification, you've just got a much better chance of getting a higher salaried position. Be prepared for pushback. Again, I've already mentioned this. So that's, and maintain professionalism. Now, this is really crucial as well. You don't want to burn any bridges. You don't want to ruin relationships that you've got. So yeah, this is really, really important. So remember, negotiation is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. Would you like to role play this scenario to practice your approach? Now, I'm going to say something like, yes, please. Let's see what this does. Excellent. Let's simulate a negotiation scenario. So this is the kind of thing I wish I had 4 years ago. I had to kind of devise this all myself. I had to have conversations with my partner, my parents, those kind of. I had to make this all up. Whereas now we can have this in one tool, in one interface. And remember, it remembers your previous conversation. So if you're putting things in here, at this point, this should remember that we've asked for 125, we're on 100, we work in the finance industry. It's collecting that information, and it's kind of using it to create its responses. So that's absolutely fantastic. So let's simulate a negotiation scenario. I'll play the role of your supervisor or HR representative. So what we could say at this point is, oh, sorry, hit my watch on the table. We could say something like, I want you to play my line manager, who is a fellow project manager. You could say something like that as an example. I'm not going to do that, but just a little point, you could do that. Chances are you will speak to HR at some point, but it depends on your company structure and organisation. In my case, my manager actually would negotiate with HR. It's not something I did, or they'd have the conversation with HR once I'd put in the request. But anyway, and you'll be yourself, present your case for salary increase. When you're ready, start the conversation as you would in a real meeting. Remember to state your case clearly, using the evidence and points discussed earlier. Let's begin when you're ready. Okay, so I'm just going to plug in some really, really basic stuff just to see what the tool can do. In fact, I'm going to be testing the tool. So I'm going to be using less information and just seeing what it can do. I'm not going to make this perfect because, let's be honest, we're unlikely to do that every single time, and we want to leverage the tool's capabilities. So let's put this in. So you know what, you could even put exact words. So like you could even use the exact kind of language you want to use. Now, one thing I've found in these salary conversations is, I like to use scripts and things like that. This video is actually unscripted, you can probably tell, but I like to use scripts, and that's one of the biggest challenges that I had, is that I kind of wanted to use the exact words, I wanted to memorize them, but I've kind of found that that's kind of unnatural, and that's probably not a good way to go. I don't know what the tool's going to say about that, but let's see what happens. So I'm going to kind of put in a little scenario. So, hello. No, it wouldn't be hello. We wouldn't say hello, would we? As you would in a real meeting. So let's just say we've got to the point where, towards the end of the performance review, as you know, you could say something like that, or before we, so before no, there is. This is. I'm going to actually enter what I put in my negotiations. So there is something I did want to talk to you about. This is what I said towards the end of the meeting. So an hour long performance review. It was all finishing up. I left it right to the end. There is something I do want to talk about. I believe that due to my contributions, my spelling is awful, so I'm really sorry. I believe that due to my contributions this year, particularly on the let's put software installation project. And think of something like where you want to put data in. That's really, really important. Say your objective was to do 100 installations, you did 150. You want to get that in. That's your proof. Where I overachieved by, let's just put 50%, just for argument's sake. But one other thing I'd do, by the way, and I might come into this shortly, you want to have handouts. You want to have physical, print it out of the meeting. You want to have, or show a presentation or share it. You want to actually have evidence. You want to have physical evidence of what you've achieved. You want to and make it really clear, percentages, numbers. That's really, really important. But let's just keep this here. I feel as if which added 75,000 to the business's bottom line. I feel that my current salary is a little on the low side for somebody with my experience and contributions. Is there any room for a salary increase? Right, let's see. Let's see what ChatGPT, the negotiator, tells us to do. As your supervisor in the simulation, I appreciate you bringing this up. Oh, thank you. Your contributions, especially on the software installation, have certainly been significant. However, salary increases are typically considered during annual reviews. Funny enough, this is meant to be during an annual review. Can you provide more details on why you believe an increase is warranted now and what specific salary you have in mind? So I could actually update the negotiator and say this is actually during an annual review. Maybe we should do that. No, let's proceed with the current thing. Maybe I should have put that in the form of prompts. But can you put on why you believe an increase is warranted now? Well, that's actually a really good question. That's put me on the spot. And what specific salary you have in mind? So I appreciate that. I appreciate that you could put, I don't want to say times are tough, you know. I appreciate that the business, maybe we don't want to reduce that at this point. I feel, let's just keep it like this. I feel as if I have been working hard in this position, delivering results for some time. I have been hesitant to ask for a raise until now to ensure that my contributions warranted the raise. I am asking. Let's see what happens. To be honest, that's kind of thrown me. That's brilliant. You're testing me, negotiator. I understand where you're coming from. It's great to hear that you've been considering this carefully. Okay, that seemed to work. Given your consistent performance and the success of recent projects, it makes sense that you're seeking recognition through a salary adjustment. What specific figure are you looking at in terms of salary increase? I've done something here. Sorry. I am looking for a £25,000 increase. See, this is where ChatGPT, I don't know if it's going to remember I said 100,000 to begin with. So, sometimes you might need to give it a little bit of a nudge from my existing. You wouldn't say that in the meeting, of course. But I'm just going to do that just to make sure, for the interest of time. Thank you for clarifying. A 25 is quite significant, representing a rise. While your achievements are impressive, such as salary increase is not common. Can you explain how you arrived at this figure? Particularly, see this is, I like that this is challenging me because this is what you're going to get. They're not, I can't say for certain, but chances are your organisation, your line manager, or whoever's in charge of the budget is not just going to just give a salary increase to everyone who asks for one. And that's because if you think about it, well, I don't know how many people are going to ask for a salary increase, but it is, if everyone did, as an example, your manager's got a budget, they can increase salaries by so much. If everyone asked for a salary increase and everyone got what they wanted or even got a little bit, they'd go beyond the budget. So it's not possible for everyone to get an increase. Just maybe consider that. You're kind of hoping that everybody else kind of doesn't have the confidence to do this kind of thing because there'll be more budget left. It depends on the management, depends on the company. Sometimes they will allocate accordingly, but you don't want to sit around and wait for a salary increase. You want to go out there and you want to ask for it. So, can you say how you arrived at this figure? I have used various industry tools. Now, this is where I wouldn't advise lying. I would check. It mentioned like PayScale earlier and Glassdoor and those kind of websites and resources. Don't make it up. But it's good to kind of, don't lie here, but you do want to find actual data that proves that you are worth more than you're being currently paid. Okay. And if you can print that off and physically show it, then it's really going to help you. So I've used various industry platforms, including, I've put Glassdoor, which clearly demonstrates that project managers in my position at... Now, another quick tip. This video is going on quite long. I will kind of finish up shortly. One quick tip is with something like Glassdoor, you can search both internally, so maybe at your current organisation, and see what kind of current project managers or other similar levels of staff are earning, or you could use external kind of customers and organisations as well. So I'm going to use the Rival as an example. I've used various industry platforms, including Glassdoor, which clearly demonstrate that project managers, 1% rival companies are earning around. Let's just say they're earning a bit more. I want to be compensated closer to this amount. Now, if other companies are paying 130 and you go and ask for 125, you might even want to ask for 140. Do you see what I mean? You wouldn't kind of price yourself under them. But again, I'm just going to see what ChatGPT suggests. That's a good approach. Using industry benchmarks to inform your requests. It's important for us to remain competitive and train top talent like yourself. Given the discrepancy between your current salary and your salary, I can see why you're taking an adjustment. Could we explore a compromise? While a 25,000 increase may be challenging immediately, we might be able to consider a phased approach. For instance, a small increase now, with a plan to reevaluate in 6 to 12 months based on continued performance. We can always discuss other forms of compensation or benefits that might be interesting to you. What are your thoughts on this? Now, this is the kind of thing that you will be presented with in your meeting, your annual review. And this is where it's going to come down to your circumstances. I can't tell you what to do. It depends how long you've been there, how happy you are in your position, your alternatives. Have you got another job lined up? Do you want to move? Your financial position. There's so many factors here that you need to consider. Don't do anything rash. But you could say something like, can we reevaluate in 3 months? That's an example. That's something you could do. Not spelt like that, of course. You could say something like, I would be willing to accept £10,000 salary increase now. These are the kind of things that you can use. And the remaining over a bonus next year, assuming I hit my targets. Of course, a lot of this, if you're worth your salary increase, you should get it. I mean, you can't, especially with the phased approach, if you're going to suggest that you're going to hit your targets again, don't say it if you don't think you're going to, or don't set yourself up for failure. You need to work hard. If you go for this approach, or they're not going to hit your initial ask, you need to think about this a little bit with what you say. But this is why the negotiator is great. You can test it all. You can see what you kind of get back. Of course, talking to an AI, limitations to that, etc. Face-to-face settings are very different. You've got personalities to consider. Your boss might be very confident. They might, you might be quite reserved naturally. All these little factors in play. But I'm just trying to show you how you can prepare and how you can use this tool to test yourself. Because as you can see so far, we've been challenged. This is not easy. I'm struggling to convince the negotiator sat behind a computer to give me a number which pertains to nothing. This tool is not going to give me £25,000. This is all completely fictional. So yeah, but I want to show you you're going to get challenges. It's part of the process. It's the way these things work. Does this sound okay? No, I probably wouldn't say that. No, actually, yeah. Does this sound okay? It's a bit impersonal. Does this sound okay? But let's give it a go. That sounds like a reasonable approach and a good compromise. You're showing flexibility by accepting a phased approach, which is often key in successful negotiation. So again, I like the fact this is it's almost teaching us as we go. You know what? This is a tool that you should go and explore in your own time. It really is. You've got your own settings, context, circumstances. I just wanted to introduce it to you. I'm happy with that approach. So let's finish this up. I've got myself a cheeky $10,000 raise. We've got $15,000 coming next year, assuming I hit my targets. So I'm happy with that proposal. Let's agree. What do we need to do? So we've got a plan. So yeah, we could continue with this. So we could go down the rabbit hole here. But what you do need to do, and this is really important with a salary increase, and this is going to be my final thing before I finish, is this is so crucial. And you need to document everything, particularly the conversation. You need to have agreement, you need to get sign off. You don't want these to be informal conversations that, you know, a year down the line they can't remember, or you know, sometimes you know, they might be a bit, you know, play the naive. I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't have that conversation, or things have changed now. I can't do that anymore. You need to get this in writing if you can. You need to get this all kind of documented. So this is what I really like about this. It's given us this whole structure from start to finish. It's given us great tips. So yeah, I would strongly suggest you go and try the negotiator in ChatGPT. Absolutely brilliant for preparing for a salary increase or any negotiation. So we could plug any scenario in here. I am looking to buy a car worth $10,000. I only have $8,000. Can you help me get that price? So you could literally, personal life, professional life, this is a great tool. So I hope this video was useful. If it was, please do hit the like button. That tells me I should continue recording videos like this. Any questions for me, drop them down below. Any comments about anything I've discussed, drop them down below as well. If you want any of my kind of advice on my salary increases, I'm relatively happy to share that as well, depending, you know, without anything in there that's too personal. But yeah, drop them down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with all that said, I hope you have an excellent day.